Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where today we are going to be removing the headliner on my BMW F10 535i and replacing it because it is drooping down quite badly and I need to get it fixed. So we're going to be removing that and replacing it with some new material. I'm very excited. Let's get straight into this. That's right, removing the headliner on my F10 535i. You may be wondering why is it on jack stands right now? That's for another video, I'll explain that later. But you can see if we go inside and look up at my headliner, it is very, very fallen. Same thing with the sunroof headliner. It's very bad, it's very droopy. The light is not supposed to be like this, obviously it's supposed to be up here, but the entire thing has just come off and I don't know why. It's probably just the heat and the age, you know, so these things do tend to fall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove the entire headliner, including the little sunroof headliner, that tiny little portion that you can't see right now because the sunroof is open. But I'm going to remove everything, which is, you know, a bit of a process, but everything, taking it off, taking it out, taking off the old headliner and replacing it with this. This is brand new headliner material, which is Alcantara. Because why wouldn't I? Why not? I'm already replacing it, so I might as well go the cool route. So I got nice Alcantara, very, very nice quality, very soft. This is, in fact, real, genuine Alcantara, and it's nice, very nice. I'm gonna go ahead, replace the headliner in there with this. I'll see if I do the A, B, and C pillars. I'm not sure because I don't know if I have enough anyway, but I have to save enough for the actual headliner and the sunroof headliner. If I have more, I'll prioritize the A pillars, but this is what's gonna be going on. I haven't opened it all the way because I was, you know, waiting to make the video, but let's go ahead, start getting this headliner off, and then once it's off, we can start putting this on. So let's go ahead, start getting that off. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and remove the A pillars, which is pretty easy. I'm just gonna go over to this little airbag cover, pop it off, and there should be a T bolt right underneath it. I don't know what size. Let's go ahead and check. All right, we got both driver's side and passenger side out, so now I'm gonna go up here, and I've already put just my hand in and pulled this out. You're gonna have to remove this connection for this light. Just gonna go ahead and pull that out. That's one connection down. You also have to get rid of the microphone connection. There we go. Microphone is out. I'm gonna go head over here, pop this off with a little pick. There we go. Once you get that open, there's a little Torx screw right there. There we go, that is out. Now same thing over here on this side for the side holding the actual mirror on. All right, when we have the visor out, you can see this is what I was talking about right here. This little piece, this just unclips, and then you can see the little T bolt right there. Just go ahead and remove that, and then this all comes out, and then disconnect the cable right here. Same as pretty much every other connection. So that is the connections for this little area completed. I'm gonna go ahead now and do the same thing on that side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this main central lighting unit out. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start getting rid of this. There's gonna be one little portion of this inside where I'm gonna go ahead and put my little trim piece removal tool and try to remove the inside part of this. All right, so we're right here. I've removed this little piece, like I said, and you can see right in here, just barely, you might not even be able to see, there's a little metal tab. Same thing on both sides. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put something really thin, probably a screwdriver. I'm gonna put it in there and try to push the actual metal tab inwards so that way this entire thing can pop out freely. I'll do the same thing on the other side, get both of these sides out freely. But you can see here, microphone is missing here, microphone is missing there. They are gone. Also lights are gone, visors are gone. After I get this out, I'm gonna start moving on to probably the B pillar, then the C pillar, which is really not all that hard. And then of course, we need to get rid of the handles, gotta get that light out. And after that, we can start also getting rid of the sunroof. There's 5 screws up here. You can probably see them right there. Gotta get those out. And then if I'm not mistaken, that should be it. So let's go ahead, start getting this off and keep going, working towards our final destination, which remember is gonna be really cool. I'm really excited to put that Alcantara on. So let's go ahead and get this thing off. There we go. Not too bad, actually. You can see right here, this is the clip that I'm talking about. What I did is I got my screwdriver, put it through this little hole right here, and then right here, I just pushed it in so it would slip right out. I'm gonna go ahead and remove all these connections, which there are 5 of. All right, so this is off, and you can see there are gonna be two little clips right here. Just gonna go ahead and pull those out with my little trim piece removal tool. Get those out. Once those are out, time to start moving on to fully removing the A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar. All right, so we have here is very simple. The A pillar it has been, you know, unscrewed. The screw is missing. So now all you gotta do is just put your hand back here and pull it off, because there's two clips holding it on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, ooh, there we go. Pull it off. You can see there's one clip there and the other clip there. After that, just wiggle it out, because there are two guides on the bottom right over here. There we go. And your A pillar is out. You don't need to remove it fully to get the headliner off. I just did it just in case I have excess headliner to put on here, just to, you know, go ahead and measure that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that to the side. This is very simple. Obviously, like I said, it's the same thing on both sides. I already did that side. And to get the handles off, the handles are very easy, actually. Well, not very easy, but they're not that complicated. All right, so for right here, sorry for the camera angle, there's just really nowhere to put the camera to shine or to record this angle. But you can see right here we have obviously the handle. I'm gonna go ahead down here. I'm gonna grab my pick, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my pick in this hole and pull this piece out. It's gonna pop out, and then I'll go from the bottom side and fully remove it. There we go. Do the same thing on this side, pop this out, and then fully remove it from the bottom. All right, once that's out, what I like to do is I'm gonna go ahead and, similar system to the lights from the top from the ceiling, I'm gonna go ahead and put my screwdriver in one of the little tabs, push it inwards. There's two on each side. I'm gonna push it inwards and pull. It's gonna keep it open. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, pull, and keep doing that until it pops right out. There. Same thing on this side. Push tab in while pulling down on the handle. There we go, and it's out. So here's the actual handle. You can see the clip system right here that I was talking about. I put the screwdriver in this one hole right here, pulling it inwards, and then I go over to the next one, back and forth until it pops out while obviously maintaining pressure, pulling it down, and now it's out. Repeat for the other three. All right, now it's time for the B pillar. B pillar is pretty simple, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and start removing the weather stripping. Once it's out on both sides, you can just go ahead and pop it off. It's only being held in with clips, so if you give it a nice little tug, it should pop right out. There we go, that's it. And then I also would recommend, if any of these clips get stuck onto here, remove them and put them here, so you can actually pop it back in when it's time. And yes, these two slide into here, so when you pop out at the bottom, and then pull down. Repeat for the other side, and then let's go to the C pillar, which is pretty much the same thing as the A pillar, just backwards. Literally the same thing though. Let's check it out. All right, the C pillar is literally the exact same system as the A pillar, so what I'm gonna do, like we did in the front, I'm gonna go ahead and get this little cover off for the airbag. Pop that off, and go ahead and remove this T-bolt. It's pretty long. Once you have that out, this is not totally required, but I like doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and remove part of the weather stripping just in this area, and then pop out the two clips. There we go. Wiggle it around, and that's it. It's out. Repeat on the other side. So I've actually gone ahead just a little bit, and I've started pulling the headliner out. You can see it's pretty loose right here in the front. What I forgot to mention is that these two clips that were right in these two positions right here were not in fact clips. What they were tiny little Phillips screws, plastic screws. So go ahead and unscrew those instead of trying to pop them out like I did. You'll save yourself a lot of time. And then for the rear, this is different among people, but the third taillight area right here popped out for me with the headliner. So this is completely loose with the headliner, so I didn't have to take that off. But for some people, you have to take this off separately, which is just some clips. And the only thing that I'm missing right now is this lighting system right here, which I'm gonna try to get to from above the headliner, see if I can just disconnect it, because this will not pop out no matter what I do. But once that is out, we can start taking the entire thing down. So I finally got the center rear lights out, which is an absolute pain. I don't know why it was so difficult, but I finally got it out. You can see here, it has these two tabs, which absolutely suck. This one is bent completely out of shape. I'm gonna have to bend that back. I'll do that later. But if you wanna change your lights to LEDs, which I'm about to do, now would be the best time to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and definitely get some LED bulbs for these while I'm still at it, because I hate the halogen look. But once the light is out, all that's left is one T screw right here, Torx. Take that out, and the whole thing should fall, hopefully. Let's see. Let's try this right now. Oh. There we go. It's out. You're probably gonna have a lot of like debris from the headliner foam on your seats and the floor, so you're gonna have a fun time cleaning, but the headliner is fully out. Wow, let's go ahead and try to squeeze this thing out through one of the rear doors. All right, we finally got the headliner out. This was really, really hard. We had both seats folded back, and then we got it out through this rear right door, just right around through here. It was pretty hard, and you can see this is dangling right here because I actually had to just reconnect it to get the functionality for the sunroof again, because the sunroof I have to remove, of course, because I have to be able to get the actual sunroof part out and also change that to match, you know, the Alcantara, because that's also sagging. So what I'm doing is I got my T25, and with my T25, I'm going around here to these 3 bolts on the sunroof, and I'm removing them. I did the same thing on that side, and that side is loose, and I'm gonna take it out. And once, you know, the glass is out, you can clean it or whatever. I'm probably gonna clean it because it is really, really dirty. So I'm gonna clean that. I'm gonna take it out, and then once the glass is out, we can go ahead and close the sunroof all the way again. But this time, of course, only the cover will be exposed because the glass is missing. Once we do that, I believe, if I remember correctly from last time, there are gonna be 2 bolts on each side. So 4 bolts in total. Just remove those, and the cover should just pop right out, and you can take that in and change the headliner on that. That's something that I'm gonna be doing right now. I'm gonna go ahead and finish removing the glass right here, get the glass off, and then get the cover open, or closed, closer to me, get that off, replace the headliner, replace the actual headliner, of course, and then see how much I have left to see more or less maybe A, B, or C pillar, maybe the third light, you know, third brake, tail light, cover, something, just to see if we can get, you know, everything matching and looking better than if it were, you know, mismatched. So let's go ahead and get this glass off real quick. All right, the glass is off. Now you can see here we have, like I said, 2 little screws on each side. Gonna go ahead, get that little Torx screw, get that off, put it right here, get this one off, get it off. And I'm gonna put these in a very safe spot because these are very small. You can start taking this side out. These little bits just pop right off. Once these are off, put these somewhere, and then you can start wiggling it off. But of course, you have to do that side first. So let's do this really quickly. And then this should just pop right off. There we go. It is off and out. Now, if you want to, of course, now would be a great time to start greasing up the mechanism. You know, make sure everything is going smoothly and quietly, because mine is in fact not smooth, nor is it quiet. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe put a bit of grease of sorts there, and then make sure that you remember how these each go. Very important, obviously, for putting it back on. But let's go ahead, take this inside with the headliner so y'all can see the sagginess that is my sunroof. Let's take this thing off. All right, so we finally got it off. Like I said, I took this off, not much to see, it just came off so easily. It was already pretty much off. I started going ahead with this brush that we use for our tires to get rid of all, you know, the old excess foam, which you must do, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And I don't know how long my camera's gonna last because it's pretty hot right now and it's very prone to overheating. So let's see how much we can get through. All right, so we have just finished this portion right here. This is the sunroof, of course. I did it just to practice a little bit without filming, but I think we did a pretty good job. It's not totally, you know, cut yet, but it looks really, really good so far. I love this Alcantara material. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start applying the adhesive on this, onto the actual headliner right here. You can see we've cleaned it up, we've removed all the foam, and we got it pretty clean, honestly. I'm surprised at how clean we got it, but it is now ready for the foam. And here is the Alcantara, the really, really big sheet of Alcantara. Here's the excess that we have. We might use this for the third tail light cover or something like that, but we have some extra that we can use. We're prepping the surface right now, getting ready for the adhesive. We're gonna put half of the roll on, of course, you know, half of the Alcantara. We're gonna spray this entire thing, overlapping 50% one way, and then the exact same thing the other direction, so we get even coverage. Same thing on the Alcantara. We're gonna put actual adhesive on the Alcantara and onto this, both ways on each, so when we put it down, it really, really adheres. So we're gonna go ahead, like I said, prepping the surface, and then let's get started putting the adhesive on. All right, so we have the fabric on top of the headliner right now. You can see the headliner. We brought it outside and we have the fabric rolled up half. What we're gonna do is we're going to apply adhesive to this half of the headliner, and then we're also going to apply it to this half of the fabric. And then of course we're gonna go ahead and put it on top and make sure that it's nice and everything, get all the contours and the shapes and everything, make sure all that is good. And then after that, we'll proceed to do the same thing on the other half. So let's go ahead and start putting the adhesive on. All right. we have finished wrapping the headliner. I know I didn't film very much of it, and that's because it was an absolute pain. It was so hard to get it wrapped. In fact, we had to do it twice because the first time we messed up on one of the most important parts, I would say. But before I get into that, here is the actual headliner, of course, with the brand new suede Alcantara material. I'm gonna put it over here so y'all can see it better in the light. But check that out. It is finally on. We did this, and like I said, it was very, very hard because the first time around, we actually went ahead and did it half and half. So we started with this front half. So we put the headliner here, we glued all the way around here, we glued all the way on the headliner as well, and then we laid it out flat. However, what we didn't think about is these crevices for the grab handles, they were there. I mean, we knew they were there, and we thought that the material would stretch enough, but it did not stretch enough, so it was just floating here, and we tried putting the handles on here to see if it would, fix itself, and it just ripped. It ripped the headliner. So we had to take the entire thing off again, and of course, since the foam was brand new, and the glue was brand new, we had to get rid of the foam. But the foam was sticking. So we had to get a drill attachment for a huge, very strong metal brush. And I took maybe 4 days trying to get rid of the new foam that we just put on because we messed it up. So we had to rebuy the material, and then we did it with much more delicacy. In fact, we actually went this way, laterally, side to side, halfway. So we actually put it on here, and we started doing this side first, of course, making sure to actually get these abscesses right here, these little recesses. But check it out, it is on, it is correct, it is nice. I'm actually very happy with it. We really, really took our time with this, and we made sure that every single little section was correct. And I mean, it just looks amazing. It feels so good. It's so soft. I absolutely love it. We actually did a very good job, I think, especially for our first time really wrapping a headliner. Well, second time, because the first time was a mistake. We screwed it up. But the second time, wrapping a headliner, and I think we did a pretty good job. We cut out everything that we had to. We already test fit everything. This should look very, very good. And actually, we also went ahead and we wrapped the A, B, and C pillars. So you can see right here is the C pillar. I did not use the headliner material. We actually bought one that's self-adhesive, so that has no foam. And you can see we wrapped it around very good. I put a bit of tape just in like the areas that may or may not be a little bit weaker, but man, this looks amazing. And right next to this, it's going to look awesome. Like I said, this is the C pillar. My dad actually wrapped the A, B, and C pillar because he said it was just so much fun and it was a very fun process. So we got all the pillars in Alcantara suede and the headliner, and now the only thing left to do is to put it back on the car because I have been driving without a headliner for the longest time now, and I keep getting all these warnings for the passenger restraint and everything and a bunch of stuff because it's missing a lot of stuff. I cannot open and close the sunroof. I have no interior lights. I have no acoustical locking confirmation. I have no turn signals when I lock or unlock the car. The car is like completely like deactivated pretty much. I did not realize how much the actual acoustical lock box for the sunroof and the lights on the top really controls, because this car is like half of what it usually is, and driving it is completely different. But finally, now it's time that we can put this entire headliner, now of course wrapped completely in Alcantara suede, into the car. So let's go ahead and start maneuvering this thing on, because this is gonna be an absolute pain. I know it is, but we're gonna go ahead and try figure out how to position the seats in any way we can so that we can actually, move this in, because this is gonna be a not so fun process. But let's go ahead and try. Okay, so here's where I'm at. Right now, it's almost on in the rear. So I have it barely held on with the screw there, and then the two clips in the rear there. I'm trying to figure out exactly if anything goes on the C-pillars. I don't think anything does, except for the actual C-pillar itself screwing onto it, holding the headliner on. I'm holding it up with my front seats because I cannot find the connector for some reason for my front vanity light for the driver's side. You can see the passenger side right there, the white one, right between my fingers right there. However, I cannot find it for the driver's side. And I'm not sure why, but this is where I'm at. And of course I had to take off all the weather stripping from the top so that this could actually, fit in flush, and then we'll figure out, actual fitment and mounting. It's not easy. It really is not easy. I mean, I knew that coming into this, but it's a lot harder than I thought. And I knew it was gonna be hard. So that's really saying something. I consider myself experienced with, you know, working on vehicles, but there's something about upholstery and, you know, headliners and such that's just such a pain. And I think everybody can probably like agree for the most part, get a general consensus that this is just hard stuff. And it's not because it's difficult, it's just because it's tricky. It's annoying. It's like tedious is what it is. So it's all a bunch of tedious work, which is what I'm, you know, working on right now, trying to figure out where the connector went and then where the clips and screws go, which isn't hard, it's just annoying. So I'm gonna try to figure this out and then let's see where we go from there. All right, real quick status update. You can see that my sunroof controls lockbox is hanging and floating. That's because I've actually gotten everything in so far, and I've realized that there are actually clips holding this side on, this side, and the back. There's 5 clips in the back, and there's 2 clips on each side, left and right, respectively. And I got all these clips in, and then once these clips all went in, I could then start putting in these screws. There are 5 screws up here. You could probably see them. I got these 5 screws in. Once that was in, it was super easy. This was already lined up. I just put these little plastic screws back into these holes. This was not actually that bad. And then make sure that this actually slides in, because there's a bunch of tabs all like intertwining, and your material should go behind this plastic bit, obviously, so that it, you know, it looks good and doesn't look out of place. So I have everything on now. Pretty much all that's left, actually, other than of course the pillars, the A, B, and C pillar, which is not that hard, but the B pillar, I got to take the seatbelt off to put it back on through it, which isn't really that bad. I just take it off from underneath the seat. It's not that bad. It's just a big, you know, Torx bolt. Unscrew it, take it out, put the B pillar on, and then slide everything back on. Not that bad. But all I'm gonna do now is make sure that every screw and clip is in the right spot. As far as I know, it is, or they are, I should say. What's left is the light. And by the way, yeah, I did find the light. It was just tucked in right there. I found the little connector. It was just tucked away. So I have this one, I have the microphone, and I have the one for the vanity mirror. Everything is ready to go. I am ready to start putting everything fully back on. So let's go ahead and start, I guess, putting this on and then, you know, wrapping everything up. Of course, before all that, I'll put the A, B, and C pillars on. But let's go ahead and start putting all this main stuff on. All right, so here's what I have done so far. I've actually gone ahead and put on the A pillars, the B pillars, and the C pillars. It was very easy, honestly. I mean, it's very, you know, intuitive. It just makes sense. Very common sense to just, you know, kind of slot it in place, put it in, make sure these 2 clips grab, and then, you know, clip them in, nice, give them a little push, and then put the screw in underneath the airbag cover. One thing that I had to note, which was not very clear at first, is that the lining itself, the weather stripping, I should say, of course it has multiple layers, but you can see there maybe, there's a layer that has to go underneath fully this, you know, the B pillars, the C pillars, and the A pillars fully underneath, because if not, then it like kind of creates a gap. Kind of like right here, you can see a little gap because it's not fully in. You can actually see the rubber exposed. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and take this off and put it back on fully underneath this piece right here, so that, you know, it's actually completely flush with it like it is everywhere else. The only things that I'm missing right now are the handles, the rear dome light because the clips broke because they just suck, and the vanity mirrors, because I am actually going to try to wrap those in the same suede Alcantara material, see if I can actually make them look good. If not, then I may honestly just buy some from an M5, just, you know, secondhand from an M5. All right, my friends, we are finally done. Let's take a look at how this brand new Alcantara suede, or whatever you want to call it, headliner looks on the F10. Let's go ahead, open up the car, and take a look. Check that out. I am also just very slightly from the future, so you might notice some different mods here that I haven't reviewed before, but all of these mods will be reviewed in the future in coming videos. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that, because there's a lot more coming for this car and the other cars as well. But right now, let's focus on the headliner. You can see right here, of course, the A pillar is in fact in the same material as the actual headliner. Like I said, this is actually just like a little peel off sticky that I put on. It's very thin and there's no foam. This is great for the pillars. You can see the A pillar, you can see the B pillar here as well. Just amazing. It's literally like, it just feels like it was OEM. I'm really proud with how we did this. Like I said, my dad really enjoyed doing the pillars and wrapping the pillars, and then he actually cut all the way around it, and it looks pretty good. I'm actually really surprised with how it came out. But the headliner itself, everything is just right. The sunroof you can see here, it's just, I sound like a broken record, but it is so nice to the touch, to feel, and you can see your handprints being left there. Of course, I did install the LED bulbs, which is a really, really nice upgrade, but you can see, but the headliner feels so good. we can go ahead and open up the sunroof. No problems whatsoever at all. Still works just great. We actually also did the visors ourselves. They're not the best. We're probably gonna replace them with like some visors from an M5 with the OEM Alcantara, you know, upholstery. But for now, they're pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with them. They could be better, obviously, but we handmade them, so pretty special, honestly. Going around to the back, you can see the Alcantara here as well. And the third taillight cover, we also put in the same material that we used for the pillars, which you can see the C-pillar right here. You can see everything is tucked in correctly. It's just amazing, and I am so pleased with it. Sitting in the back, you can see the material all the way around. It's definitely such a different vibe entirely. I mean, the car now feels so different than what it used to before, of course, that sagging headliner and everything, but it feels so much more premium. I mean, it's a more premium feel because it looks awesome, but it also feels awesome. My passengers love this. They always compliment it, and it's such a nice little touch. We can go ahead and close the sunroof again. Yeah, it's really nice back here. It's kind of hard for the camera to pick it up because it's very dark, but it just looks so good. So happy with it. I really am. It was a lot of work for sure, but it was definitely worth it. Everything is fit in correctly, including the handles. You might see the handles, the sunroof, the lights here, the lights in the front, the whole control module over there. All in all, it was difficult, but it was definitely worth it. The only thing that I did not put Alcantara on is the rear parcel shelf, because, well, I mean, why would I? I don't see the point in doing that. No one's really gonna like look back and like start touching that, but they are gonna look up and start touching this. And when they do, they always compliment it. They always say it feels amazing, and it does. And this is just this, you know, it's just a DIY. You can do it yourself exactly the same way that we did it. But I do believe that that's about it. Just showing y'all, you know, how I did the Alcantara headliner on my car. It was a bit of a longer video, but that's because there was, you know, way more steps involved, and it was a much more overall involved process. But it was worth it, and it looks awesome. I love it. But I do appreciate you all watching. But like I said, for this video, that is about it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified when I drop the next few videos about this car, the Mini, or the M4. But as for this, that's about it. Thank you all. But as for this, that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Take care.